Had a lot of coffee today.
Oh, really? I had to slow down this morning because yesterday this was me all day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, I've overdone it.
I don't feel safe.
We're recording?
Yeah. Hi team. We're here today to talk about Maverick. Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah. And Jurassic World Dominion. This is a double feature
of Blockbusters.
Shots Movie Reviews. We're back.
Yes. Leave of absence. We had things to do.
But we did watch movies.
Watched a lot of movies. We had some Sordid Liaisons. We had all sorts of stuff. Shall we?
Yeah. First up, Top Gun Maverick. Max, what's the facts?
Normally we do our ratings at the end.
Yeah.
But I want to talk ratings right away. Because this movie today, I'd give it like a 9.5.
Yeah.
But in the world of movies, that's just a sign of the times that we've gone a little downhill. Because like, this movie's not perfect.
No.
No real bad guy.
We didn't even know who the bad guys were.
Yeah, you're
they
not.
They never addressed who the bad guys were. It's just the enemy.
Which is kind of ridiculous that it's so good without, like, because so many movies go bad by like writing bad villains. So you're like, there's no suspense here. I don't care about nothing. But this is like, yeah, they didn't tell me, and I don't care. Like, I just want to see Tom Cruise fly a plane.
Yeah.
So in the history of the world of cinema, I give this an 8. In 2022, I give it a 9.3.
Okay.
But you don't have to. I came at you left field with that ranking right away.
I would say though, okay, when I left the theater seeing it, because we saw it on like a Friday night, we were one of the first. We saw it like within 2 weeks. It was a bunch of us and our friends. I left the theater being like, wow.
Feeling good about life.
That's a 10 out of 10. I love it. Now that I've thought about it and seen other movies, I would agree. I think it's a 9.5.
Hell yeah.
But there's an element breakdown when you look at scripts or movies that they give assistance to learn, like producers go by it, and there's 6 elements, which is like action, comedy, heartfelt, I think I forgot the other. I know ticking clock is one.
Sure.
Love, and then a villain, like a villain aspect. But the ticking clock is the hardest one that most scripts don't hit the point, where every 5 pages you have to have a ticking clock element, and it basically means like it has to continue the story and it has to be of relevance of time so that the reader understands what's going on, or the viewer. And this one had a good ticking clock throughout all of it.
It wasn't forced. It was just like,
we know what we're doing here.
Yeah. Oh God, it was so refreshing.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to do. Because either you like don't do it right, but more often I think people like force it. Essentially, they're like, we have to have this happen so we can have this happen, and it's like that doesn't make. Which probably we'll talk about in Jurassic World.
Yeah.
They do that the whole time, where it's like these things have to happen so the next thing could happen. Where it's like those things don't matter, and there's no sense to it.
And Maverick did a good job of showing, not telling, a lot of the story. Yeah. Of like, you knew why everyone was upset, you understood what was going on, but they still had like missions to accomplish. There was a lot of elements.
So good.
There was a scene when Tom Cruise is on the motorcycle. Tom Cruise is in it. Miles Teller. Glen Powell, Jennifer Connelly.
We have a young audience.
I know, but Tom Cruise is on a motorcycle, like riding home after this like very cute like beach scene with Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
On the back.
I found this on the web.
Siri. Anyway.
Listening.
Where Jennifer Connelly is on the back of the motorcycle with Tom Cruise, and it's just so like sweet.
It's again that
pretty.
Like. There's movies you don't have to feel sweet and pretty in, but like this is a summer blockbuster. Let me feel sweet and pretty. Like let me feel it.
And it felt like it was summer there. They were on the beach in San Diego.
So, let's get into the nitty gritty. First off, having Miles Teller's name be Rooster, his dad being Goose, that's just funny.
Yeah.
I respect it.
As you were saying,
Goose, the OG Top Gun partner, who passed away in a slight accident. Was it Maverick's fault? We'll never know.
We'll never know.
His son, played by Miles Teller in this, is Rooster. Just, sticking with what you know.
Yeah.
Goose, Rooster. Great.
Bob was Bob.
Bob was Bob. There was the good. They didn't linger on anything too long. Similarly, like the Maverick Rooster thing, they were fighting, and it's like there's tension and emotion.
Yeah.
But they worked together, and they got through it.
To achieve another purpose.
To achieve a purpose greater than themselves.
Yeah.
Even though one of them could have died. But
you knew that. Honestly, though, I think it's interesting. Like, the way it ended was great, but there was a moment where I was like, one of them could die. Like, I don't know how they're gonna. They might. You go in assuming they won't, but then you're like, I don't know, actually.
I'm glad they didn't kill off Maverick.
Well, now you just ruined it for everyone.
Well, this movie's like the biggest movie of the summer. It's been out for a year.
I don't think Tom Cruise would have let them
I know.
kill him.
Has he ever died?
I don't think so. He didn't he?
I mean, in The Edge of Tomorrow, he dies a million times.
I was going to say he died in, what is the one with Pony Boy?
Outsiders.
The Outsiders. Doesn't he die in that?
I don't remember. I love The Outsiders.
That's when he had jacked up teeth, so.
He was he allowed himself to die.
That was actually when he was sacrificed in Hollywood, and now the version of him now that exists is
if you ever get offered to go to one of those Illuminati parties and they're like, do you want to do it? Just think.
We'll fix your teeth.
Tom Cruise did it and it worked out for him. What do you have to sell? Your soul? I don't know.
That's not a big price. Look at what you're doing now.
Exactly.
Cheez-It commercials, come on.
You got to make those decisions. So.
I liked, I don't know if we talked about this yet, Jennifer Connelly. I liked her role. I thought it was like, the way that they did Maverick and her character, it was believable in their age. Like, this was a movie that I could go see with my parents, or I could see with children, and everything made sense to me. It was like PG-13. Was it PG-13? Or maybe it's PG. I think it was PG-13.
Gotta be PG-13.
But it did what Toy Story did, in that it aged gracefully with its audience. Where, like, Maverick's character, the point he's in his life, and, like, his ex, Jennifer, and her being, like, a bar owner and, like, having a teenage daughter who's protective, that all made sense. It's like, yeah, this is believable.
Yeah.
This military guy exists.
So they're on the beach. They had to, like, recreate the famous beach scene. But they didn't have, like, Tom Cruise beating everybody up, like, endlessly.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, he wouldn't be.
He'd be the leader.
He's 60. He'd, like, do one play and be like, all right, kids, have fun.
Yeah.
Which is what they did, because they are good filmmakers.
Because they know what they're doing. And it's also, like, it just shows Tom Cruise also gets it.
Yeah.
That he's in a leadership role. Like, he's still cool and has his moments of... Because you do know... Hold for play. Tom Cruise?
Tom.
He heard you talking bad about the Illuminati.
I know, like, can't. You're going to have to cut that. Oh, the Illuminati. Take me.
I wish.
We'll get there.
They do have parties like that. I would go to them. I don't know if I'd be strong enough to say no.
Yeah. You never know what. You might... Guy or girl.
Honestly,
you don't know if you're going to wind up on a spit roast.
I'm almost 30. I'd probably be like, all right, what are you offering?
Don't you mean you're 17?
Yes, I'm 17.
Oh, let's talk about the best scene in the movie. When, I don't even remember what was going on beforehand. Tom Cruise is like on his low point, but then he comes back and does the run in 20 seconds or whatever when nobody else could. And he's
and inspires everyone.
I still, yeah.
And then they're like,
we have to do it this way. I know. Oh, it's so good. Stupid John Hamm.
It's also, even the corny parts
are awesome.
Like when him and Miles Teller have a moment towards the very end when he pushes him and he's like, you told me not to think. It's like corny, but it's sweet.
It's so sweet.
And
dude, certain movies pull off corny. Others don't.
Would you say Miles Teller and Tom Cruise had good chemistry?
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
It was well cast because Glen Powell, who played Bagman, was up for the role.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, Miles is just...
Yeah,
he's doing well.
He's killing it. I'm glad they waited for the release theatrically.
Right. That was a whole thing.
Yeah.
COVID. It's still in theaters. You should see it in a theater.
But even watch it at home, it's good.
But it's a good theater movie.
It is a good theater movie.
Now,
speaking of other theater movies.
So that was Hollywood blockbuster number 1.
Yeah.
Incredible. I think it set all sorts of records.
Yes.
It's almost like America just wanted one good thing to happen.
It's like, America, fuck yeah.
Exactly. Our second Hollywood blockbuster.
Ugh.
Sequel.
Okay. Jurassic World Dominion. I love dinosaurs. The first Jurassic Park came out when we were small children.
The best age in the world for a pop culture movie that the whole world likes. Be like, oh, a 9-year-old, this is my bread and butter.
Yeah.
But then adults be like, wow, that was really good.
That was great.
Love dinosaurs.
I went in knowing the last two weren't the great. Like, the first Jurassic World was good. The last one was awful. And I was like, okay, this is either going to be on par with the first one, because Jurassic Park in my brain is its own thing. Like, I can't put it with this because it's never going to be as good.
That's one of the classic on the graph. There's a graph if you like Google Images ranking trilogies. It's like Jurassic Park number 1 is like up here, and then 2 and 3 are like down here. Whereas like Lord of the Rings is all top. Star Wars, it's like D. But Jurassic Park is Jurassic Park number 1, based on the novel. That movie is perfect.
Yeah.
Spielberg, it's the perfect mix of like CGI hadn't taken over in Tyler, so they still had to work with practical effects. It was just go on.
Jurassic World, we knew it was going to be mainly CGI because that's what they use now.
Yes.
So I was like, this could be really, really bad or really, really good. I wouldn't even say really, really. I'd be like, or good.
Yeah, passable.
It was so bad. It made me mad. It made me so mad that they were going to end this whole thing with that. Like, Jurassic Park started up here.
And then it just progressively went to... That's a tough...
And it's like, and as a filmmaker, I'm like, there's so many things you could have done. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you have to blow it all on CGI.
There's so many things they could have done, and they tried doing a million different things.
Yeah.
Where it's like, wait, there's like 50 different storylines going on.
There's 50 different storylines. Every actor had to hit its like little nostalgic jokes. And so the storyline, it felt like I was watching the other 5 movies combined into one movie, and there was no original thought at all.
Jumbled thought, if anything.
And Chris Pratt was just doing this the whole time.
That goes into the acting in a jet versus acting like when there's nothing in front of you.
And they also mixed in puppets with CGI, and so it was starkly...
In this?
Yeah, and it was starkly obvious when they did that.
Did they?
Yeah.
When?
When they did the up close, those are always puppets.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are you 100% sure?
I'm pretty sure, because Haley and I talked about it.
I want to say it's somebody in a green screen suit.
No.
Yeah, that's how they always do it. I think like 1 was the only one they used practical effects. We can, if you're right.
What was blue on the back of the baby? Blue's baby on the back of Chris Pratt.
A fucking midget. On the back.
We'll look it up.
Yeah. If she's wrong, this won't make it into the cut. But, so this goes into, let's talk about characters, all the nostalgia porn, but we were also talking about earlier how Hollywood, for the most part, doesn't know how to make a tech villain.
Yeah.
Don't Look Up was like the one we spoke about earlier, where it's like, what is this weird creature? Similar to this guy. It's like almost the same character, like this weird, like Uncle Touchy energy mixed with
like Beta.
Yeah, but like
there was like a weird running line of like he wanted snacks.
Yeah, which again,
and
I don't
didn't make sense.
Get it.
It just, the only villain we talked about earlier that says it's a social media tech villain was Mark Zuckerberg, Jesse Eisenberg from The Social Network, and the guy who Justin Timberlake played. Those were the two that like was believable, that they were nerds that then made money and were kind of still assholes.
Yeah, and evil and malicious and whatnot. But like still human beings. We're like, now they're just, it's like you're making fun of them. But it's like, wait, that's, yes, it's not a real person. And
it's also like, for a villain, you want to be scared of them. I wasn't scared of that guy.
No. Because it's also like, all right, you're bad.
Because essentially the dinosaurs were the villains too.
They were meat, like the little crop things were causing, which that whole sideline plot, but
was dumb.
But then immediately you're like, all right, so it's this guy. So what are we here to talk about?
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the next scene, and the next scene, and the next scene.
And Dr. Grant and Jeff Goldblum's character, and the other, what's the woman's name? Laura Dern. Yeah, but what's her? It doesn't matter. Their entire storyline was so pointless. Like, you didn't have to do all of that. Just put them there for some reason.
Yeah.
And let them be there. Like, them trying to combine those two worlds throughout the movie, and then finally they meet, and they're like, oh, cool, you're here.
Yeah. Nostalgia porn.
Why? Why are we doing this? And this is the only part I liked. I liked all of Jeff Goldblum's one-liners.
Because he's just being Jeff Goldblum.
Because he's just being him, and they were hilarious. And I liked the very, very beginning when they showed what the world looked like when dinosaurs were inhabiting it again.
Yeah.
And it was like news footage.
People.
That was funny to me, and I liked it.
I don't even know if it was. I agree it was funny. It must have, like, supposed to have been funny, right?
I think so, right? I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny, too.
But the rest of it was dumb, and I hated it. And it made no sense. And also the dinosaurs, they put new dinosaurs in that they've never introduced. Like the one with the bird feathers that like swam.
Well, it's like, all right, we don't have a story, but it's a dinosaur movie. Let's just throw in new dinosaurs.
But that made me mad.
It was bad. It was all bad.
It just, and like.
There were so many things. Jurassic Park makes sense. It's perfect. And it's like nature gets out of hand. This is like, nature can't get out of hand every 5 seconds.
Yeah. And it was also obvious the reshoots that they did because Bryce Dylan Howard, she had different hair. Or Bryce Dallas Howard. She had different hair color in different parts of the movie.
I'm colorblind.
And then also, at the beginning, when they were in like Montana, it was snowy when they had Blue. They were gone 2 weeks to rescue that girl, 2 or 3 weeks, and then it was like a valley and ferns and stuff were there when they were back. I'm like, that's not how that works.
None of it worked. It was all, for lack of a better word, dumb.
It was dumb. It was a waste of money. I felt like it was such a cash grab for everyone because they were gonna make money on it regardless because everyone's gonna go see
Jurassic. It's just, these are two good examples of like, this one was done this way and it worked. Top Gun was done this way,
yeah,
and it works.
And if you're gonna do all the old kills, like they did the little that spits in your face, if you're gonna do those, do the guy that got eaten on the toilet.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that. Weird they didn't do that, really. Yeah. Like, they had a chance.
Why didn't they do that?
It was just a hot cash grab, cynical, and like, I don't mind, like, everyone's existence, they're all good actors and everything. It's just like, why?
How can you mess up a dinosaur that much?
Wait, why make bad things when you could make good things?
It was just illogical, a lot of it.
Sad.
And the girl you want to punch in the face was in it, the Asian chick.
Who?
She was the bad girl in it. Remember, she sold.
Oh.
She's like popping up everywhere. She's in
fucking
Severance.
Severance chick.
Yeah. And I remember in the theater, you see her, and you went, not this girl again.
Yeah. So much chaos. The movie was like being in Jurassic Park when it goes wrong, but that's not how it should feel.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Top Gun Maverick, or Jurassic World Dominion.
Honestly, I would give Jurassic World a 2.5 out of 10.
That's harsh, and I like it. I'll give it.
You're gonna give it a 4, aren't you?
No! I hated it. It was sad watching it, because it's like, alright, this is a summer blockbuster.
It made me mad.
Sucks. I'll give it a 2.5 for your anger.
That's what I do. Okay. So.
Oh, I thought you said 2.8.
I said 2.5.
2.5.
So it's a 2.5 Jurassic World Dominion. It's 9.5 for Top Gun, Maverick. The two biggest blockbusters of the season, I would say.
Yeah.
Besides Minions.
Minions. It's gonna be great.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you on another episode of Shots.
Bye.